Cool. Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you just let me know in the chat if you can hear me, and verify that by saying keyboard. And then if you can, I will go on the way with the session. If not, I will fix everything. I'm just gonna unmute the stream to here. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. No, wait, no. Cinderella, we can't rely on what you say because you can hear me in the call. Left ear? Okay, let me change that. No, it's not left ear, it's both ears. Let me check myself. Hello, Cinderella, we can't rely on what you say. Okay, I've tested it and it's fine. Cool. Okay, so today we have Cinderella and Dawood in the call with us. And you know, Dawood, everyone knows who he is, so no need to introduce him. But yeah, he's software engineer at TechCloud, and he is an amazing Microsoft student partner, Gold Microsoft student partner, and amazing. That's who he is, and do not need to describe. So, hello Dawood, are you there? Please unmute your mic, otherwise I'm just going to be talking and rambling on without any coherency. Hey, you've saved me. Your network is here.
Yeah, definitely, I'm here. Yeah, my network is good. Everyone in the chat, hi, what's up? How are you? And I think the last time I hosted, MSP Inspire, you folks, the last time you hosted me was somewhere in, was it November? Yeah, I think I kind of did something related to Power Ultimate.
No, we did it back in January. The first Inspire session of this year was you.
Oh,
remember? It was on Power Platform.
Okay. So I began the year successfully. Cool.
And Power Platform, Power Platform, insane. And guess whose birthday it was? Power Platform.
Whose?
Oh
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So it's Brian's birthday and
yesterday.
Yeah, but definitely this is actually fun. I mean, after I recorded series of tutorials on deploying web app, a lot of folks reached out to me and they were like, they had some series of questions. Someone actually deployed a web app and then ended up having the web app, used up all her credits. Okay, so the joy I share in particular is that a lot of people have been able to deploy their web app following the tutorial I made. So I'm really happy and excited about that for them. And because of the series of questions that some people asked me after they deployed their web app, I was like, okay, maybe this week is actually a good move for me to jump on the Inspire call and then try to do something on web app, right? So basically, what are we going to do today? What do you want me to do? So we are just going to explore web app. What we will not be doing today is to actually deploy a VM, a virtual machine, and run our web application from there. We'll not be doing that today, okay? What we'll not be doing again is that we would not be, we will actually try out different options that can enable us to be very successful in terms of how we deploy our web application. And then I'm also going to do something. I'm going to go and hunt for some particular themes. Okay, I'm a backend developer, so I don't do front-end stuff. In our company, the front-end developers do it. But in a case where someone asks me, Dawood, how do I, if someone asks me to do something for them, I'll basically go grab some front-end scaffolded template and then customize it to fit their needs. That's what I would do, right? In the worst case, I'll actually code the front end. I was actually a front end developer before I went to back end. But yeah, back end developer, we want everything fast. So let's just see something here. In Theme Forest, you could actually search for a particular template you want, okay? And so this is the site. Some of you might not know it. That's why I'm mentioning it. So I can just scroll down. Let me hide Salman little here.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So I can just scroll down. And once I scroll down, I get a series of filters over here. And so what I'll do is that I will set my price range that I want template that can go from $5 to $10, right? That is the template I might prefer to, use. So basically, I would select that and I'll click on just this symbol. So what it's going to do is that it's going to search for template that I might like, which is within the range of the price that I selected. So if you check here, we have series of templates. As part of the template, we have, I think I'll go with this one, okay? Which one would you go with? Just tell me what you go with, but I'll go with this one, okay? So I've actually realized that my website, oh, you just unblocked two new badges. Did I? That's awesome. Oh, they said it to you. Cool. So, yeah, so if you go to HTTP and then you go to, okay, you do this, /
Well,
and you say,
website.
You said?
That's a nice website.
Yeah, it is, honestly. So when you go to this and then you go to this particular endpoint, what's happening? They are telling me that I can't visit it. Yeah, but it makes sense. So yeah, but this is one of the things that we are going to fix in this episode, okay? So what happens is that when you build a website, you actually want users to be able to go there and not feel frightened about your web application crying for not having HTTPS. So Google actually is it a year or two ago? I don't know. They disabled the fact that you could use only HTTP in your browser. So whatever browser started crying about it, and you can see that Chrome, Edge Chrome is also crying about it, right? So actually we can bypass this. But you don't really want to see, let a user do this. I mean, no one would like to do this and click that back to safety and all those stuff, right? But currently, when I do www.dawoodiddris.com and I hit on enter, I actually have a free SSL certificate generated in Microsoft Azure. So it points me out to this successfully. However, the free SSL certificate does not support, naked domains. Like you can't do something like we did before. You have to precede it with www, right? So if you want to actually use naked domain, then it means you need to purchase an SSL certificate. You can do all that in Azure, but however, you might also have SSL certificates purchased in some place like Namecheap. So those of you who are not familiar with, all these terms, I'm sure you are getting some, you are getting some tips on where to find domains, where to buy SSL certificates, all those stuff. I am actually intentionally doing all that because I want us to have fun learning in this sense.
For the viewers out there, can you explain to them what exactly SSL means?
Yes. So what happens is that you need a way of authenticating yourself on the internet, right? And then you actually don't want users to be, to enter their credit card and then it gets, interception, right? You don't want Bob in the midst of, sending it from Alice to maybe Ali or Alice to Salman. You don't want Bob to be intercept. Exactly.
Man.
So
Bob always getting away.
Yeah, Bob is always getting away. So you don't want that to happen. So what you would do is that you would actually want to purchase SSL certificates, which basically blocks. It's like this is like this is algorithms behind it to just help you prevent Bob from getting or intercepting in our network, right?
The cryptographic protocols, right?
Exactly. So you have your public key and private keys and all those stuff. So we're going to be dealing with, those stuff in this particular episode, right? So what happens is that if you're using a website like mine, then you don't need, like, if Bob intercepts, what do I care about? Like, you go here, Dawoodiddris.com, what's there still, right? But where credit card and co are being used, it's very important that you secure so that Bob doesn't get in the way. So that is basically SSL certificates, okay? So that's the importance of, having yourself an SSL certificate. There are various types I learned. I really don't know about the types. Yeah, but there are various types. I see Let's Encrypt allows you to generate free SSL certificates. However, if you purchase one from, Namecheap, for instance, I think I have one there. I have actually activated it, so I'm not sure it would show for now. Yeah, but I have activated one from Namecheap, right? So what will happen is that I'll just configure that particular one, okay? But I'll be writing a blog on how to configure SSL certificate from Namecheap. Yesterday, I spent the whole night doing that. It was terribly, it wasn't good. I didn't sleep trying to get myself, configured. Okay, so now that we've actually explored all the, theme forest, where you can grab some themes, and SSL certificate, where you can purchase it from here, right? And also domain names, you can purchase all that. But the fun thing is that you can actually do all those stuff inside your portal.azure.com. You can do all those fun stuff. Do you know that you can actually send feedback to Azure about, how certified you are with your product, or what is wrong right in here? And who knows, your feedback would actually be implemented. Okay, so I know you know about that. So what are we going to do today? So I'm just going to click on create a resource, okay? And yeah, in my resource, what I'm going to do is that I need to deploy a web app, okay? So I'll just click on web app. And so you've probably followed my previous episodes, my previous tutorial. That's so cool. But the truth is that you actually, I need to explain a huge amount of things in the process, which I didn't cover in my episode. So I'll just click on create, and I'll take a few minutes, and that would be set for me. So we have, if you are deploying a web app, you could actually deploy it as PaaS, platform as service, or you can actually deploy it as IaaS, infrastructure as service as well. So it depends on what exactly you want, right? In the case of deploying something like, complex app, or like with my framework Laravel and co, I would definitely go in for infrastructure as service. But what we are doing today is actually platform as service, okay? So I'll just select a resource group, or I can create a new one. So for me to create a new resource group, I'll just say, give it the, the resource name, right? So I can just say personalize, personal site. That would do. I'll just click on OK. But you actually want to, be naming your resource group very well, okay? So that you get a lot of benefit out of it. For example, if it is a test, if it is production, you need to just rename it very well, okay? But for me being Dawood, this is what I would do. So once you are deploying your web app, if you are new to this, I'm sure you are covering yourself up. You need to give it a name. Maybe I'll give it a name called Dawoodiddris. Okay. That is not available. Okay, because I'm Dawood. Cool. Yeah, I can call this Dawoodiddris test. I think I'll call it that way. Yeah, so that and I basically need to select my run time stack. You know what I'm going to choose, right? PHP. But you basically need to choose whatever application you are going to run within your web app. Just choose that. Yeah, I know someone is going to choose .NET. Okay. I think in 2 months' time I'll be choosing Node.js. Okay. But for now, this is where I belong. And you need to choose a location which is really close to you, like South African North. Okay. But what happens is that there are some resources which are not available in some regions. So you need to, basically when you check it up and then you don't find your region there, just choose another one. That would do, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is that I will just, leave this app service plan, or I will create a new app service plan. Okay. So what do I want to do here? I just want to click on create new. I think I'll leave it. I'll leave it. Okay. I'll just click on change size. This is where I'll change. Okay. So this is where I think many people might get it wrong, because if you select that you want the free tier, what happens is that you'll not be charged for using it at all. You will not be charged. Okay. And that is used for development/test environment, right? But immediately you are good to go on production. You just have to make sure you switch to, to use production. And the cool thing is that if you are also using the free tier, what happens is that you see custom domain Ssl certificate, right? It's disabled and all those stuff. I mean, all these resources are disabled for you. So maybe you need to go on production. Okay. So when you are using the production, choose the minimum one if that's good for you. Okay. And it depends on the one that you actually select. Whatever you select comes with its own cost. So make sure you select the right thing. Okay. So I can select this, and this will be included for me. All that will be included for me. So I can just click on apply. Okay. And that would, set me up. I can click on recreate or review and create. And I've actually fallen in love with virtual machines. So I think in some subsequent episodes on my channel, because I'll get to speak on MSP Inspire like 1,000 years after. Yeah, but yeah, I don't get to speak here myself. So I'll just click on create, and yep. So we just try to, find the best people to inspire you. Okay. I know we all inspire each other, but sometimes you need to reach out to other people. So that's why we don't often talk too much ourselves. We don't handle the sessions in MSP Inspire. Okay, but so my deployment is underway. Once it's deployed, I would have a URL to visit, my web application. So this is where we get to have some fun stuff. Okay. Whilst that is deploying, some of the cool things that you would need is actually GitHub. Okay, so I'm just going to go to GitHub, and I'll show you something. Okay, so yeah, I think I need to downgrade this thing. For the time being, I have a particular repository that I usually use to do fun stuff, like this repository, right? Cool. And so this repository basically contains, CSS, images, and then about us and contact us. Okay. So that is basically what you are seeing over here. Do you get the idea? Cool. So what I need is that if I want to be able to use this on my local machine, I basically need to clone this particular repository. In cloning it, I just need to, choose whether I'll use SSH or I'll use HTTPS. In this case, it is selected to HTTPS. I'll just use that default one. I can download this, but what happens is that if I download it, I'll not have the Git repository initialized in that particular project. So I would basically do this rather. So I'll just copy this URL, and I'll come in here, code to git bash, and inside my git bash, I'll just navigate to my desktop, and on my desktop, I could just say that git clone. Oops. I'll paste the URL over here. Yep, and that should take me to, cloning that particular project for me, right? So I can just clone the project right in here, okay? So I have that project cloned to my desktop in a few minutes. I'll have it cloned. Now let's get back to what we were doing. So deployment is successful, and we can go to resource. Okay, awesome. And in my resource, depending on the, the plan that I used, okay, you can see either SSL is going to be available or not. You can see it from here, okay? So I can basically visit this particular URL in my browser, and that should send me to a default template scaffolded by Microsoft for us, right? So that's a good work. Hopefully my internet is not going to cry. Salman.
Yeah, I'm here. You're still here. Don't worry.
Have I have I been so successful so far with my internet? I mean,
Yeah, no, it's like
Well,
I'm
you're
just
still not
worried
breaking up.
I'm gonna crash. That's what I'm worried about.
yeah. Okay, so you can see that the default template has been scaffolded right here. So that is what we have on my, if you visit my domain, okay? So basically, we have some fun stuff over here. But what I want to show you today is a different level of things I've not covered in my episode. So basically, what I can do is that I can actually put in some, grab in some SSL certificates. And I can also, point a domain name to my app over here, okay? So what you can actually do is that when you just click inside this particular resource, in the overview page, okay, I'm just going to click on this particular resource, okay? So the overview page actually shows you, how, the requests that are made into your application, all those stuff. So if you guys are actually visiting this site, I will see all those metrics here. And this is really cool. I don't see this often in many, I've actually used a lot of other services, and Microsoft Azure is really cool in terms of, showing us the stars, giving us recommendations, blah, 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 and your usage. I mean, it's really cool, right? So what I can do here is that I can scroll down and I want to actually find custom domain, okay? Yep, so right in here, okay? So if I have a custom domain purchased in my app, so this is app service domain. So you can use app service domain to actually purchase, domains right here in Microsoft Azure. Now, the cool thing is that if you're an MSP, you have some credit, right? So you can actually use that credit to purchase a domain name right in here. So I'll click on buy domain. I'm not going to do that. I just want to show you that that can work, okay? So I can say that I want to purchase Salman MKC. Yeah.
Guess I have that domain.
Yeah. Sanda.com. Okay, so I'm just going to search for it. And it's going to search whether that particular select from available domains. So you can see I have, I didn't spell Salman well.
Because I've got that.
Or did I?
No, it's because I've got that domain already. So you can't get
it. So it's giving me other ones. So you see, it's giving me other options. So I can basically check all these ones and buy all of them.
The salmonmkc.com, what is that? That's insane.
So what I can do is to enter my contact information here, and then the privacy, also here, privacy, let me click on it. And basically what I just need to click to say is that I actually would enable everything over here.
You're actually buying these. Don't buy mine.
I'm not buying it.
salmonmkc.com.
So I'll click to accept the privacy protection, and I'll put in my contact details and all that. So once I'm done with, these settings, what happens is that I have purchased my domain name, okay? So when you purchase your domain name inside a web application that you've already, deployed, what happens is that, the domain name would basically be in the same resource group as your deployed web app. So in that case, if you delete the resource group, if you are trying to delete the resource group, it would prevent you from deleting it. I'm not sure I really want to do this, okay? But I think I need to just do it. For doing it, I mean, I just want to do it, that's all. So what happens is that I already have ashley.lane.in as my domain name. So I'll just click on it because I want to set that to my web application that I just deployed so that I would use that, okay? So what I would do is to click on it. When I click inside here, okay. Oops, what's happening, bro? Okay, so let me see what is actually.
Look at the chat. What happened?
Yeah, check. Oh no, nothing happened. I'm just refreshing it so that I can just click in there, and then I will just hook up that particular custom domain name that I have purchased from Microsoft Azure to my application, my new application. So some people actually got this problem, and then they asked me, and I basically needed to help them out, right? So that is why I'm doing this, okay? Yeah, so this is my web app. I can click to go inside here, this particular domain. So when I click inside there, how do I set up this particular domain name to the new website that we've deployed? How would I be able to do that? Let me show you the fun stuff. Okay, so I can basically click on advanced portal hostname bindings here. I can just click on hostname bindings. Then I'll add a hostname. I'll bind a hostname here. So what I can do is that I would have to select the particular custom domain, right? In this case, this is the custom domain I'm going to use. Okay, I'm just going to use www. No. So I'm just going to select the test, and I'll select. I need the Ashley domain, right? Yep. Host names cannot start the field host name, and I'll select whether I should be production. Yep.
You want like some random thingy to append to the beginning of the domain. So, like,
yeah, something like
potato.ashley.
Okay, someone said Dawood, so I can just use that, right?
Sunda.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, yes, I wrote your name instead. So I can actually use this.
You got it wrong.
Oh no, I actually mean it, and I can just say that I'll assign that particular custom domain. What happens is that when we go to our domain name, we're going to have some scary stuff, right? So let me just go to my domain name. Inside here, my custom domains. Yep, I'll just click on saved. And if I actually assign my custom domain to this particular domain successfully, what will happen is that it will just, display over here, and it will ask me to, show some binding. Now you can notice I'm doing something very wrong here. If you correct me in the chat, I'll buy you chocolates.
Who wants chocolate?
So yeah, I'll basically buy you a chocolate. It's okay. Yeah, so over here, I can click on add custom domain, and I could have just add that particular custom domain that I'm using. Now, the cool thing I've not been using, which I was basically trying to tell you, let me just use the Ashley lane. I think I just copy this. Yep, I'll just copy it. Copy that in here. Paste it right here, and click on validate. So it will validate to see if that particular domain belongs to you. And once it belongs to you, you can just click on add custom domain. Okay, this will be added to your domain list. Okay, now what you can do, which is really cool, is that anytime you want to refresh, don't do what like I was doing. Just click here. Don't click here. Just click here. Okay, just click here, and then it will just refresh in here for you, right? So that is the cool thing I didn't tell you about, and I was just refreshing down here, doing that stupid stuff, right? So yeah, that being said, I'm actually pointing my domain name to the right direction. The cool thing is that when you want to delete this particular web application, right, you are deleting this web application entirely. It would mean that you are also deleting your ashley.in domain name. Do you really want to do that? Now, Microsoft Azure protects you from deleting things that you don't intend to do it, okay? So you can find that out by when you go to that particular resource, you click on logs. The logs will have some few rules. You can see the rule says that the log type is delete, all right? So this deleting of this particular domain is locked for me. I can't delete it. That's what it means. And yeah, so if I want to remove the log, and I want to be able to delete this particular resource, which is the domain name I've purchased, then I just need to click on delete, okay? So what will happen is that, do I need to do this? Yes, I'll just click on delete. So when you click on delete, what is happening is that you only deleted the, the particular log that you put on your, your resource. That is the only thing that you deleted, okay? So what do you really want to do here? I think I'll call it Ashley. This is the log name. I'm locking this to be delete only, and I will basically write some notes. So I will just say you don't want to delete this. Want to delete this, okay? And I'll click on OK. Now, when I click on OK, what happens is that, the lock is back. So I've set up a lock on this particular resource. So it means that I will not be able to delete it myself. So I'm preventing my own future self from deleting this particular resource. Okay, so if you've been trying to delete and it's not going through, this is probably where you should come check up in your lock rules that you set, and then make sure that you are able to remove it. Okay. Another cool thing that I think many people might not have noticed is that you can basically click on let me see.
Can I
Yeah,
add? I
this is
think
managed.
I think when you create when you assign domains, I think for pipelines and DevOps, I think it by default sort of locks it so that you can't delete it if you try to delete a resource group which contains a pipeline which is using the release pipeline which uses that app service. I think it sort of locks it so that you can't delete it, which is good.
Exactly. So what happens is that if you are using DevOps, then you have, a lot of cool stuff. You can, set up your CI. Is it CI/CD or
CI/CD,
yeah?
yeah. Because I was deleting
Exactly.
a resource group,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the one which we have for the MSP Inspire websites, and
Mm-hmm.
luckily I had a lock on it, and it prevented it
Yeah.
basically from deleting.
Exactly. So you can actually use DevOps to do a lot of cool stuff. But you can see this episode, we are leaving devs or DevOps completely from here. Now, if you've not seen this before, you can always click on Manage DNS. So this is where I think if you want to actually point this particular domain to another server where you are hosting your website, you can come in here and add all those DNS records, and that should work fine. Okay? Does it make sense? I'm sure it does. Cool. So someone is asking in the chat, why is there, this session is going great, but there's not a lot of people watching it. Yeah, the cool stuff is what we are actually teaching and how far I get to impact a lot of people out there. So
share
so
this
I'll just
with your family and your friends on social media, and we will try to retweet your tweets as well.
Yep. So the overview page gives you the ability for you to, manage your custom domain, just like you would do inside Namecheap. Okay, you see Namecheap, I have some domains here. As part of those few domains, I think has to do with the ones with TechCloud and MSP Inspire. So I can just click on this, and then I would click on manage, and I'll be able to manage all those particular resources in here. So I'll click on advanced DNS, and I should be able to get the same thing I'm actually getting inside my, all the C names and, the server name and all those stuff. I can just add them right in here. Okay. But probably this particular domain is pointed inside another, server. So you don't see all those records here. So that's the cool thing that you might not have known of. Okay. And I didn't mention it in my previous episode. So, again, you can change a resource group, okay? So this Ashley lane belongs to a resource group, and this resource group, I don't know whether I really like it, but I can basically change this particular resource group. So I can click on change, okay? That is one thing I think many people might not have noticed of as well. I can create a new resource to host all my domains, right? I can call this all cool domains, right?
Oh.
Okay, so once I click that, I'll click on I understand, and this particular resource that I have in here would basically go into that particular resource group. I am quite sure that one too, you didn't know of it, right? Because I didn't know too. Many of you asked me a lot of questions, and then I had to just explore to make sure whether I can move a particular, resource to another resource and all those stuff, right? So these are some details that you should be aware of, that you can move your resource groups. You can move your resource from a resource group to another, okay? But what you need to be careful about is that it needs to, most of the rules is that your subscription has to be the same as, the resource that you want to move from end to, right? So that's what you need to be careful about. So I think this is going to take probably some amount of time. Okay, it's moving. Okay, so this resource will be moved, successfully from the resource group that it belonged to, right? Yep. So it just taking some few amount of time, but that would happen. I think those are some few things that a lot of tutorials might not be mentioning to you. I really wanted to mention all those cool stuff that you can do on your own, okay, using, Azure App Service. This are cool stuff, right? You're able to manage everything. You're able to purchase Ssl certificates. You're able to purchase domain names. You are able to move resource from one part to another. And basically, resource group contains, related or logical, set of resources that you might, want to put together as a group. Now, when you put, resources together, what happens is that you can actually set rules to that particular resource so that, say that access level control can actually be given to some people and not some people, right? So resource group can help you to be able to set up some, access levels depending on department that a worker belongs to or an employee belongs to or something like that, so that no one gets to, mess up with some resources that they are not supposed to mess up with, right? You can set up some cool rules, when you are using Microsoft Azure. Okay, so it's still deploying. Put in your questions in the chat. And let me see what exactly I can, if I have knowledge on what exactly you are asking. Okay, so I'm just going to click on, I think moving will take 1,000 years. Okay, all right, it took less than 1,000 years.
So, wow.
Yes, so the cool thing is that now I have my domain name in another resource group. So if you didn't know about that, yes, now you know, right? You know that you can actually, move a resource from one part to another. And all your resources should belong to a resource group. That's one cool thing about Microsoft Azure. So as at now, I can click on all cool domains, and I'll have that domain there. And I can as well click on Ashley Sites, which was a resource group I created. I will just delete it because now, wait, I can still see my app service domain in here. What do I need to do? I think I basically need to refresh this and see what is wrong. I thought I moved this. Let me just refresh in here. Okay. Okay, so I have not tried moving the domains before, but I know you should be able to move it successfully from one resource group to another, and that is basically how you get to change your resource groups. Let me click and go back. So I need to probably figure out why the resource group, why the resource has not been moved to this particular resource group that I created a few minutes ago, right? So that is actually cool. One of the few things that you can do is that you can also purchase a domain name. You don't necessarily have to create a web app to be able to purchase a domain name. You can just do it right in here. Just click on App Service Domain, and basically you see this still belongs to that particular resource group. So that is why it is not reflecting in our resource. For some weird reason, it might be taking some time before it does that, just to make sure I'm doing the right thing, or I need to probably figure it out. Okay, but basically when I click on App Service Domain, I can purchase free domain from here, and that is the cool thing, right? Okay, so now that you know about all the cool stuff that we've discussed, from purchasing your own default template, from Team Forest is one good place you can purchase default templates, from setting up your DNS settings if you are on a different if you are using a different server that providers that you bought your domain from, and we just review some way you can just clone your your repository. And my repository basically contains something really simple. So this is where I actually want to work on today. Okay, so I want to go into Dawoodiddris. Okay, the Dawoodiddris web app is what I actually want to work on, okay, today. That is basically our focus for today, okay? And let me know what I'm not covering, okay? I really want to cover what exactly you want, so that I successfully, so now I have Dawoodiddris here. I can go to Deployment Center, okay? So the new domain, the new app service that we actually deployed comes in default, to be this way, right? So what happens is that you can go to Deployment Center, and then you set up, which particular, repository you want to hook up. If you want Bitbucket or GitHub, or you want to point it to any of these, service providers, and then you basically deploy your web app in there. So over here, you can see this is the Adespora site I have, and that is why the site is basically displaying this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you that I purchased a few minutes ago, before the session, I purchased one cool stuff. These are pictures that I've just taken to be able to use it. Okay, so yeah, so see in here, yep, I have inside here documentation, and I have some, scaffolded template for me, which I basically purchased from this particular site, Team Forest. Okay, so see in here, I have purchased templates. So now Dawoodiddris.com is going to have these templates, and if you ask yourself why, it's because I purchased it. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Okay, remember that I deployed that particular on my desktop, right? Adespora, right? So right in here, right? I basically just clone this particular repository for my GitHub account. It was private. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to navigate into Adespora. Okay, so I'll just get status to let you see that my Git repository is clean. Okay, so what I want to really do is that I want to paste in the template that I have in here. Okay, I'm pasting it in here. Okay, basically, so I'm replacing the file in the destination folder. Yes, I'm replacing all of it because I have yeah. So basically, once I'm done, I just need to git add. Okay, so I can add specific file, but I can add all files as well. Okay, so all these files have been successfully been added to my Git repository locally. I would basically commit and say that complete a complete template. This is the description I can give it, and I'll click on enter. So this has actually been commit. So now I can say get status again, and you can see my get status is basically clean, right? My branch is clean, so I can now git push. Okay, yep. So I will git push, and all the default template that I just set up right in here would be displayed online for me, right? So this is going, it's going online, so you should be able to check it very soon. So now when I go to Dawoodiddris.com, I hit on enter. It might take some time, all right, for everything to appear here. It might take some time, right? But what we can basically see in here is that I can check in here and see whether any deployment has reached out here, right? So you can see I said complete template deploy, so that has reached out here. So very soon we are going to have that scaffolded on my website itself as Dawoodiddris.com. So we have a complete application set up. However, I see that my application is crying. It basically means that it is not finding some of these files properly. So let me click on home. Let's see. Okay. So I definitely need to do some 1 or 2 settings in there to have a complete website up and running, right? So the CSS is missing. It's missing my CSS. So I don't want to keep this on a coding base. So I can go to code, open my Visual Studio Code, just try to find out what exactly I need to move here and there. Okay, so I had my CSS, I had my index page, My index page is leading to my CSS successfully. However, it is not finding most of the resources. So what exactly is wrong? Okay. I need to figure it out, right? So I can figure that out successfully. Hopefully, I can do that, figure that out. And when people visit my web application, they should be able to get, my index page pointing to it successfully. Now, the cool thing that I think I need to also show you is that this particular domain, as cool as it looks, when someone visits it with, naked domain like this, it would be missing, right? I mean, it will cry saying that this is not authentic. So I need to authenticate, I need to put an SSL certificate. I basically generated one yesterday from my, from Namecheap. I had one over there. So I just generated one from there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click in here. And what do I really want to do? Deploy SSL certificates. I need to just configure my SSL certificates. So let me just scroll down in here, SSL bind settings. Okay. So let's assume that you have an SSL certificate, which is online, right? You want to add it to this particular, you want to import it into Microsoft Azure. What you can do is that you can click on private key certificate, and then you can basically click on import. Sorry, I think what I would need to do is that I'll click on upload certificates. Okay, so you basically need to upload that particular certificate. That certificate needs to be in PFX format. Okay, that's one thing you need to be. So for you to be able to do that, you need to be able to convert your SSL certificate to personal information exchange, and I'll click on open. Once I click on open, I need to type in the password, okay? And the password should match, the password that I use in generating my certificates, okay? So once I do that, that would be safe, and I can click on upload. However, I've already uploaded it in here, okay? So what I would need to now do is that I need to bind it, because so you can see that would take the naked domain and also www, the prefix domains as well, okay? So what I can now do is that I can just visit my SSL binding, right? My custom domains, yeah. I can visit my custom domains. And once I visit my custom domain, I can click on add binding, okay? I can click on add binding, and yeah, I'll select the certificate that I want to use. In this case, this is the certificate that I uploaded, okay? So naked, whilst you can be able to generate free SSL certificates, it doesn't support naked domain, like I said from the previous, from the start. Now I'll choose SNI SSL, and I'll click on add binding, okay? So now when someone visits dawoodiddris.com in the browser, and if this certificate is valid, which, it says it is, when someone now visits it in the browser, it shouldn't cry like it's crying right now, right? It shouldn't cry like a baby. It was basically crying. Okay, so now you see I have, okay, so after fixing my SSL certificate, everything started working like magic. So, yeah, so basically we fixed it. So we have a complete website right in here for Dawoodiddris. And basically, it fits into whatever I do: marketing, web design, writing, SEO. So I can actually, I think I would not use PHP over here. I'll be using Node.js in this particular application. Okay, so yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that in some time. Okay, so I have a complete website here. We just deployed a website. We, uploaded SSL certificates, and through the SSL certificate that we uploaded, we've been able to save our naked domain from crying like a baby. So I think I need to, I've basically covered some few things that you should know that I haven't covered inside my YouTube channel specific. Okay, so if you go in the playlist, I actually covered out how to, if you want to understand GitHub, all the Git stuff I was doing, I've covered it here in 8 episodes. If you want to be able to set up SSL certificate and all that in separate episodes, I've covered it up here. But what I didn't cover up was actually, setting up, fixing that naked domain things, and then moving your resource groups and purchasing, domain name from Microsoft Azure. You can also purchase SSL certificate and all that's right in here, right? Okay, so that being said, I think it works. Now, what I haven't shown you is that when someone visits without, when someone visits my application with, HTTP, okay, you see, it is still showing that my, application is not secured, right? So I need to tell it that if someone, visits without adding the S to the HTTP, then it should basically redirect and then, secure it for us, okay? So that can be done by just clicking on, you know what I was going to say? By just clicking on, right? So that's the fun stuff. So I've just clicked on, and it will mean that when someone now visits my application without adding HTTPS, Azure is going to redirect the person to a secured site being covered for me. So yeah, Manish, this is super cool. Honestly, I actually love what we've covered today. So basically, if you are new here, you should get your way around it, because I went from basics to you could call it intermediate level of how you can deploy your web app and all that. See. I think I like this template. Do you like it too? Someone, do you like it?
It's unique. It reminds me of Dawood.
Yes, Sanda. Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Say no. I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, we love it. We love it.
I mean, yeah. So look at all the cool stuff we've been able to achieve, in this episode, right? So basically, that is it. That is all you need is to, understand the basic stuff. We reviewed how you can put a lock on your resources. So you can even see, even on the web resource, there is a lock over there. I promise, I'm going to cover into details, how to deploy web app, adding databases, blah, blah, blah. And I've fallen in love with VMs. So now I'm going to be doing some VM fun stuff as well. So you can set up some locks in here saying that, hello, don't be able to delete Dawoodiddris. Okay. Yeah, so that I don't end up deleting it myself. So I can set up that, and I will say that this prevents you from committing suicide.
Let's not say that. Let's not say that, David. I'm being your PR manager now. Let's not say that.
Actually, someone has been my PR for a while now. You've been my manager. What happens is that sorry for using that word, but I actually mean less. If you actually don't put up,
what that would means is
locks. If you don't,
he's protecting his his thing.
Yeah, my resource from deleting it,
exactly.
right? So it prevents you from deleting your web app unintentionally.
Yeah, you can lock. You can lock.
Yep. So I just clicked it. So I basically I've locked it. Right? So now what happens is that when I try to delete this resource group, right? It is going to tell me that Dawood, hey, you can't delete this particular resource because it's been locked, right? You get the idea?
Yeah, the nice thing about locks, you can apply them to resource groups or resources. It doesn't have to just be your app service. So
yep.
Feel free to have fun.
We can give lock for anything like any resource in Azure.
Yeah, resource or resource group. So if someone's tampering.
So just to prove that it works, I clicked on delete this particular resource, and you can see, warning, deleting Dawoodiddris is irreversible, blah, 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 blah. But yes, if you want to delete it, go ahead, and I can type in Dawoodiddris, and you can see, because I have locked, it says that this resource is a delete lock that prevents from deleting. So actually, Azure saves you from, all the hell stuff that you do to your own self, right? This is the cool stuff that we get to do, if you've deployed a web app in other places, I don't want to mention names. Come into Azure, let's have fun.
Can I answer a question in the chat? We have a question from Ganesh.
Go ahead.
And he's just asking,
Sure.
how can you just use HTTPS? So basically that toggle Dawood was showing, you put it on any HTTP, and anyone trying to access the website using HTTP will redirect to HTTPS. That hopefully answers your question, Ganesh.
Thank you. So basically we've explored locks, we've explored SSL certificate, we've explored how you can deploy your new web app, and how you can basically how you can deploy your new web app and go to development center, and in your development center you should be able to hook up your repository, if that is in Bitbucket or it's in GitHub, whatever. Just put your source control there and continue deployment. You can set up that over here. And I think we've basically covered all the cool stuff that you need to do to get going, right? I'm just authenticating that, yes, I'm Dawoodiddris in this particular app, okay? And I'll just grant, access. Those of you who see GitHub Campus Expert, you're going to ask me, was I a GitHub Campus Expert? I'm not answering that.
So you can GitHub Campus Expert.
I'm not answering that.
Why?
Okay. Basically, I wasn't a GitHub Campus Expert. I actually applied. I was given. They have like 2 stages for you to finally get into the program. But I was near to graduating, and I didn't want too much titles anymore. I had too much titles when I was in school. It was insane. I didn't want that. I wanted to belong to one particular,
same.
Microsoft Azure and Microsoft Azure.
Big ups to the partner community only. Sorry for asking. That's personal.
So app service build can help us to, set up whenever I deploy anything. You can basically see that when I deployed it from locally, it just automatically reflected online, right? And this is how I did it. So I just set up the coded app service thing and point it out to that particular repository that you want. Because I've authenticated myself, you can see all my repositories are showing up here. I can just click on continue, and this would basically, deploy that particular web app right in here for me, right? And I'll click on finish. So I've basically, explored all that you can do in the deployment center, from Bitbucket to setting out all the fun stuff that you need. So hopefully you enjoyed this session. If you want me to do some future episodes on any cool stuff, just let me know. I will do it. Okay. Any question in the chat? What are you saying? What's up with you guys? Ganesh, Manesh, Pallavi. Is Pallavi here today?
Yeah, Pallavi is here.
Yes. You should pronounce her like Pallavi.
Pallavi. Okay. I'm not going to pronounce it in. I'm not going to pronounce it in.
Powerpuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I see all of you in the chat. I hope you actually enjoyed some stuff. You learned something new that you might not have been applying to your own application. So I see Shubham. Is that correct?
Shubham, sir?
Yeah, Shubham in Spice. I think I want to mention all the name, but I don't want to make mistake. Oh, Odumide, yeah, I can see all of you in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. If there's any question, you can just leave it in the chat. I would be excited to explain whatever you want, okay? Oh, okay. Was I actually missing something? We have 36 people in the chat. That's cool. Oh, it was.
Rocky does ask about subdomain, so a lot of these things, but I think you kind of covered it.
Yeah, exactly. So you can actually create your own subdomains, and because we set up our own SSL certificates now. Once you add the anything, basically anything that you just add before the .dawoodiddris.com, it would be covered up with our SSL certificates, would secure it as well. Okay, so that's the cool stuff that you get to do. I hope you actually enjoyed the session, like really you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed
that's
it.
cool.
I enjoyed it. So I'm sure, yeah, like everyone in the chat seems to really enjoy it. Yeah, it was amazing, Dawood. Like that was incredible. You went from nothing to this, like start from the basic, from the template website, if you missed the beginning, just watch the recording, and if you missed, and if you still don't understand, restart, or if not, check out Dawood's YouTube, and he has some videos there as well. This is whole playlist, 8 videos. Watch that.
Actually, yeah, I do have. And if some of you ask me some question like, what do I code in? I code in Laravel, PHP, Laravel stuff. But I basically love programming in general. So I have coded in many languages as well. And one
even
of
in
the
Power
most,
Apps.
even in Power Apps, yeah. And one of the most tempting parts I'm more likely to dive into a year to come is C#. Yeah, C#. Yeah, so I would definitely be venturing more into C# because being in the Microsoft domain, it's like if I don't do C#, then waiting again.
I will be your teacher.
I know
I will be your personal trainer.
Yeah. And I have the best of trainers, with me. My Nigerian friends are going to be happy waiting again if I don't do this, right? Yeah, so if I don't do C#, being a Microsoft student partner. Yeah, I don't want yeah, what would I gain, right?
Yeah, sign up to the Microsoft Student Partner Program, everyone in the chat. If you're not one, go check it out. You can meet amazing people like Dawood in this program.
That would someone ask does Azure provide you something to prevent DDoS attacks automatically?
To prevent what?
I think Azure handles that itself.
Okay.
Okay, so it automatically handles that.
Because you see, so when Azure quotes it's like 99.9, I don't know how many nines, I think it's like 5% uptime and stuff. That's, I think, to show it's secure and safe.
Oh, Ricardo, hi, what's up? How are you?
Ricardo boosted our Discord server. Big
Ricardo did what?
Shout out to Ricardo. He boosted the Discord server. Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you very much for everyone joining today's session. It's been really inspiring having all of you. I basically I don't take this opportunity lightly because it's not everyone that would give you listening ears, right? For you to tell what exactly you know. But I'm super excited what we do at MSP Inspire every Saturday. We come together and we learn some fun stuff. So it's really cool. Please make sure you subscribe to MSP Inspire, and also you might want to check up on some videos right in here for you. They are really inspiring. Just make sure you check it out. Okay. So I think we can drop here, and if you have any question, reach out to me. I would answer it. Okay. Yeah. I want to really mention your name. Is it Rashid? He's been really cool. Like he's been here. I've been seeing him always with us, and it's really amazing, having you here with us every day.
You
Thank
know,
you so much.
he's in high school as well. That's incredible.
Oh wow.
You know, that's incredible.
He's in.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go super far. He's already far. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
into
Yeah,
the
he's gonna
stuff in
go
high
far.
school. That's incredible.
Yeah, he's gonna go far.
Junior
Thank
Imagine
you,
Cup. Best
Junior.
of luck. Best of luck for that, Bishop. For the Junior Imagine Cup.
Yeah. So I think that Salman, at this point, thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you check up on my website often to see what are the new stuff that Dawood is up to now. I mean, we have basically we have a full template right in here, right? And you can check up. We've not released the mspinspire.com website yet, but it's really on, behind the scene. We're doing a lot of stuff together to make it really successful. Yeah, there is some cool stuff coming.
Can we announce it? Can we announce it since it's next week?
Yeah. Sure, announce it.
We've already announced it. So no, we haven't. You announced. Okay, fine.
I think
we
announced it last.
Cinder did, but we didn't say exactly what it was, did we?
I don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay, basically, we're having. I'll say one part of it. We're gonna have your amazing program manager back on the show, Pablo, and Dawood or Cinder. Finish it off. Who else are we having?
I think we are also having Imagine Cup participants, the finalists.
Yes. And Dawood, anything else to add?
Yep. And it's possibly going to be either the winners of the previous Imagine Cup coming on board. Okay. So those are the cool stuff. Ganesh Inspire. Those are the cool stuff that is coming. And basically we are yeah, Ganesh in the chat.
I was so confused.
Came out. Yeah, and basically we have some cool stuff coming up. Like, should I announce everything here, Salman?
No.
Okay, let's keep some.
We need to keep something secret.
See you.
We have so much we could say, but we don't say because you need to find out in our next episode.
Yeah. So that's been fun. So basically I'll try and record the separate, smaller sections as well and add it to, the episodes that I started that I didn't mention I didn't mention in those previous episodes. So I'll just try and then do that as well so that you can just watch those specific, sections. That's why I want people to be able to learn with that sections. Okay, so thank you very much for having me here. Salman, would you care about dropping the trailer? Peter, thank you very much.
Should I?
It's really amazing to hear that from you. Thank you very much, Peter. Trailer.
Yeah, I'll do that. Do check out. So in the call we have Cinderella and Dawood and myself. So I'm Salman. So check out all of us on Twitter as well. Follow us and also follow MSP Inspire. And stay tuned.
Subscribe.
We're coming up with awesome stuff. Hit that like button. Thank you for being here for Dawood. Amazing person. You all know that. So give him a round of applause. And time for the trailer. Bye.
Yeah.
See you next week with Pablo.
Yeah. So in some time to come, I promise we have amazing stuff to announce. Okay. Salman, can you drop the newsletter subscription for them in the chat before you end it?
Yeah.
We just have thousands of stuff we are working on behind the scene, which is very unique. No one is working on new stuff. So definitely we'll catch up. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you, Sandareshwar. Thank you, Rashid. Thank you, Ganesh, Inspire, Manesh. Thank you very much, everyone. Yep, over to you, bros.
Well, why did it cut out? I had to. The character limit was too much, so I had to cut out the titles. But okay, cool. Hope you all enjoyed. Why are more people tuning in now? It's the end. If you just joined in right now, go watch it again. We just crossed 60 for some reason. So go restart the stream. It's and yeah, have a great day. I know why people are joining. It's because Dawood's too amazing, and so is Cinder. So hope you all enjoyed. And Yeah. Also, we're working on that cool app. Dude, too many
We still
things. Too many things.
Too many things. Too many things.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up.
I don't.
I'm joking. Okay, bye. I'm gonna.
Bye bye.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
back in in a minute after the trailer. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.